Where the money at? Where the money at?
Money at.
Yeah, I'm gonna ask y'all that every week. Where the money at? You know what I'm talking about? Because that's what it's all about. We're trying to get that money.
Where
You
the
know what
money
I'm saying?
reside? You ain't on that side?
Oh yeah, where the
No, no,
money
no, no,
reside.
no, no,
He
no.
not on that side though. He don't want to be.
I told her I don't want to be where the money resides.
Yeah.
No, 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 no. I let you have that, Benji. That's your thing. Go ahead, sing it again.
No. I'm just being inquisitive. You know?
Sing it again.
Do you walk around in a little parking lot like how he did too, huh?
Yeah, man should wear jeans that skinny. I just want you to know this. You see my post about President Trump banning skinny jeans. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, what?
It's a real thing.
That's a real thing?
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, I don't have no problem with it.
This is for all praise.
I mean, when did we even care? Like, why do we care? Why is that a problem?
It's a lot of stuff he focuses on that shouldn't be focused on, but hey. I mean, it's entertaining. I tell people this at the end of the day, if Trump is nothing else, if you don't like him, if you like him, or whatever the case may be, that guy is freaking entertainment.
Absolutely.
At the bare minimum. Like he is gonna entertain the people. So the stuff he does, the stuff he says, I'm like, I don't even know if he believes in himself, but it's entertaining to me.
Yeah.
It'll definitely get you some social media views.
Exactly.
Well, you know, that's what he's about anyway. Attention first.
Yeah.
You know, when he wants the attention, he wants everything, the lights on him. But you know, he's been in the spotlight for decades. So, you know, it's nothing unusual about Trump wanting attention.
Right. He's a little crash out too.
Oh, definitely.
He's a crash out for sure.
Big crash out. Big crash out.
Quick. As soon as he crash out, he's signing papers. He's signing a new law. He crashing out.
Got it on my wrist, girl. I'm crashing out. Oh, okay.
Oh Lord.
Oh my God.
Let's go.
All right. All right, y'all. We gonna get rolling. Y'all see we got a special guest with us today. We got Mr. Gil Gatsby with us on episode 192. Call it Nameless. You know what I'm saying? And I call it Nameless because it stuck out to me when I was going through his catalog of music, and I saw that one of his albums was named this, so it just stood out. And I always try to find something creative to name the episode, so that's what I chose.
Yeah.
So, man, the last couple of weeks, really, I've been going through your catalog. So yeah, I got a lot of questions. I don't know about everybody else. I got a lot of questions. Because I'm a big hip hop fan, as I think we all are. But you know, I've been known to take deep dives into people's catalogs.
Right.
When I listen to music, I'm a music head. I'm a DJ. So like, and I've recently got into producing, like the opening song. I produced that. I made that beat. So I listen to things with a little different ear now. Yeah. So I found a lot of interesting stuff, man. So
it's cool. I'm nervous now. Nah.
No, don't be nervous, man. It's all good. Like I said, it's not gonna be nothing crazy, but it's just, you know, I look at music different, and I see things, and I see elements of stuff. So, you know, I had some notes here that I had to make. But so before we get into all that, at the beginning of the beginning of each show, each episode, we like to check on our people, make sure everybody's good. So we're gonna go around, make sure everybody's good. We're gonna start with the lady on the show, Miss Trisha Michelle. How you doing today? How's everything going? How you feeling mentally, emotionally, spiritually? Everything good?
I'm like a chicken with my head cut off, but I'm going crazy. But no, I'm good. Just handling stuff. I'm now a couple days off from work to take care of some other things. So it's like the job's never done, but that's okay. Because every time I'm doing stuff and handling stuff and getting stuff done, I feel fulfilled. And I thank God that I'm able to fulfill it. So I'm great still, regardless. Yeah, just busy. That's all.
All right, nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, ain't nothing wrong with that at all. We glad that you able to get it done, and we glad that you running around like a chicken with your head cut off and not running around like a chicken head. See what I did there?
Because that was already in my head. When
see what I did there? See what I did there? See, Gil, I got some bars. So I got a little bit of bars. A little bit.
Yeah.
All right, Gil, how you doing, man? What's going on with you? How you feeling mentally, emotionally, spiritually? Everything made you good?
Man, everything is good. I'm losing weight, drinking waters, exfoliating skin, shining, going into the spring life. Music is taking off like never before. God is opening doors, so I have no complaints. The family's good, wifey's good. I'm full speed ahead, trying to get to the goals now. So I'm good, locked in.
That's right. Man. He said he drinking his water and minding his business. He is fine.
Yeah.
Water. Ain't mad at it.
That's what's up, Benji. We know you over there drinking Dr. Pepper still. So what's up with you? How you feeling?
Laid off the Dr. Pepper. We getting rid of our preacher belly.
Yeah, it is.
Soda, you know what I'm saying? We got to be able to, hoop. You know what I'm saying? Friday's coming up. You know what I'm saying? So we got to preach a little bit. You know what I'm saying? And we got to do our thing on Sunday morning, praise and worship. So, you know what I'm saying? I got to look good when I'm up there. So I decided I'm going to get rid of the preacher belly. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to be straight. But other than that, man, like nothing to complain about, man. Life is something to be enjoyed. And if you don't, the things will get to you. And you have to be mindful of that in this life, things going to come. Stuff is going to happen, but you can't let it deter you from actually getting to your goals. So I'm grateful for that, man. Business is booming. Shout out to tax breaks, man, because that's where the real W's at for you out there. Just want y'all to know that the tax breaks for business, that's a whole nother story. But other than that, we solid, man. We good.
Yeah.
Man, and I'm not gonna keep telling you about this playing basketball stuff, man. Sit down somewhere. I'm not gonna keep telling you.
Didn't we just play the clip of him falling, trying to run? Like, just sit down. Sit down.
I mean, listen, you can't tell a stallion not to go full speed.
Where's the stallion?
Now you Megan. Okay.
Megan. A stallion is a male horse, right?
Yeah,
we know
that,
what it is. I know what it is, but I'm
gonna
run with it whichever way I play it and see fit.
Yeah, but you're not a stallion, so don't do that. Don't do
that.
I told you last week.
Not a stallion. You're more like a little pony.
He talking about he was a V8. I told him he a 4-cylinder now.
Oh.
Yeah. I'm slowing down the Buick status. Okay.
4-cylinder, no turbo.
Where we go cruise through life. We're getting to, you know what I'm saying? We're getting close to the 47. We're getting to our 50. So we're cruising through life right now. But you got to understand, the jumper's still wet.
Okay, and we'll just continue on with the show after that comment. We're gonna move right along.
We're done with the fantasy part of the series.
Clearly. That's good. Fantasy. I like that. All right. So we want to get into, you know what I'm saying, the music, the man, and everything that's involved in it, because with music now, there's so much of it is saturated, right? It's like TV, all forms of entertainment. There's so much to choose from. Right. But we want to get into, your craft, what you do, and what makes you different from the other people out there, the other MCs out there, because in my eyes, you're not just a rapper, you're an MC, and people who know the craft know there's a difference. There's levels to it.
Yeah.
So, but before we get going deep, I wanted to show people this video to let them know this is real. That this guy y'all see on your screen is really real. So let me show y'all this clip right quick before we get started.
Listen. You good? Hey, yo, legendary spit, this is way back. Gil Gatsby, time to rock the way to the top. No sway cat, came all the way to NY. Give sway that, Bullock Benny Honda. I get the chop in the flame cast. They don't know my legacy. Freestyling is my pedigree. You ain't with it, just let it be. I'm on point off the top like a widow's peak. Had to be heard when you thought it was like 10 to me.
Now, y'all know Sway don't just let anybody on his show. and you're officially stamped if you're on that show. So the fact that this man was on that show spitting bars, and y'all got to go look up the full freestyle, because I couldn't put it all on here. You know what I'm
we're not
saying?
gonna give you the free view. Y'all gotta go view it.
Well, and I ain't trying to have the live taken down for copyright infringement. So but yeah, definitely I was impressed when Benji sent me that when we first started talking about having you on the show. He sent me that clip, and I was like, all right, well, if he on Sway, then I mean that says a lot right there. And you know, that's my introduction to you before I even went into your catalog. But once I hit Apple Music and started flipping through those albums, I was like, okay.
Got work.
He ain't got 1 or 2 albums. He got a lot. So we gonna definitely get into that. So I want to ask you off the top, who is Gil Gatsby? Who are you?
That's an incredible question off top. So to give you the long story short, the reason I chose Gil, at one point it was Gilligan. That was my name initially. And so when I went to Sway, the video you just saw was about 6 years ago. But I went to Sway when they first launched the show. And Sway was so excited when I was rapping that he couldn't say Gilligan. He started saying Gil. And so because I got so much traction after that, I shortened my name from Gilligan to Gil, because that's what he kept saying. But the reason behind the name is that's a show from like the late 70s, early 80s. And later, I think in the early 90s, they actually did a movie. And the movie was them on the island. And at the end of the movie, they were able to finally get to civilization. And when they went back to where they were from, they didn't fit in. And so what they did at the end of the movie was they purposely went and got stranded on the island again, because everything had changed. The language had changed. The way people dressed had changed. Money had changed. Friendships had changed. So they felt like we already have our own community. We already know how we're going to rock together. We no longer fit in over here. So we better off going over there. And so I gave you that long story short to say Gil is a person who was willing to be different, to be willing to stand out. God called me at an early age to be different and be set apart. And so that's who I am. Every time you see me, I'm going to be smiling. I'm going to be in a good mood. I'm going to be encouraging, uplifting. You're never going to see me with my head down. I'm always going to put other people before me, because I know what it's like when you're in this world, and it's dog eat dog and people trying to beat you down. So Gil Gatsby as a whole is a person who's going to love, energize, and try to keep people uplifted and ultimately get them closer to God. That's what Gil Gat is.
I dig it.
Yeah, that's dope, because, you know, when I first heard the name Gil Gatsby, me being an avid reader back in the day, I first thought about, you know what I'm saying, Gatsby in the movie.
Yeah, that's correct.
So the movie character from the book as well. But I mean, I didn't expect anything less than the explanation you just gave. If you listen to your music, you know you're an introspective thinker. Like, it's layers of stuff, and you have meaning behind everything that you do. And your bar. So, you know, like I said, I didn't expect anything less. That was a dope answer. So definitely a good clip.
And then, you know, what's crazy is when people did see that my name was Gilligan Gatsby, they thought it was a joke, because they said Gilligan was an idiot and Gatsby was a simp. So why would this dude with this deep voice choose this name to be a rapper? Well, most people don't know, and I'm going to put you up on a Google fact that Gilligan wasn't his first name. His name was actually Willie Gilligan. Gilligan was his last name. But a lot of people don't know that, right? So I was like, okay, that's cool. I'm going to be a rapper with a first and last name. I think that's pretty cool. And Gatsby just came from me freestyling one day and saying, they call me great. Where do you think they got Gatsby from? And everybody went crazy off the creativity and how I put it together. And so I said, okay, cool. I'm going to put the two names together and rock out. But like I said, once Sway said that, I shortened the name. But here we are today. Gil Gatsby.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, so I mean, but like I said, that's a dope name, and I mean, again, to have Sway stamp you, I mean, they, you know, that's high up there, man, because he don't just let anybody come on the show. And quiet as kept, you know what I'm saying? Talking about MCs, a lot of people don't talk about Heather B being on that show, and
she's an MC,
and how much of an MC she is. I ain't gonna say is. Still is, because she can still spit. So so yeah, that's very dope. Okay, so the next question I have is, how did you even get into rapping, dude? Like, I know everybody will, certain age group, probably around the same age, 30s, 40s, growing up, everybody wanted to be a rapper at some point. Everybody had some bars. So how did you get into it?
Oh man, so like just like Benji with the jumper staying wet, that's all I did. I played ball, and so see, I'm getting big up, Benji. I got your back. They own you. I got your back, bro.
Yes, sir.
Be fair. I didn't play ball, but my best friends at the time, they would play they would come play basketball with me, and I would win. I'm not flexing, but they weren't really ball players. I was. That's all I wanted to do. Like every kid from the hood, I wanted to go to the NBA. And like every other kid from the hood, if they couldn't play ball, they either wanted to rap or they wanted to do something else, right? And so they would rap all the time, and I couldn't rap. And so they would be able to freestyle, and I was like amazed because I didn't know they can do this. And so one day, Trisha, I went home, grabbed a pad. I wrote a verse. It's the most terrible verse anybody would have ever did in their life, but I wanted to fit in with my partners. And so the next day they came over to play ball. They started rapping. I jumped in and started rapping too, and it was trash, and I was offbeat, and they laughed at me. But I said, hey, I think I can do this. I think this is pretty cool. But it was only a hobby at first. And then it's crazy that I'm like 13 albums in deep after that, and neither of them have ever dropped a solo project. But I've dropped 13 since then. So it's almost like God led them into my path. We still cool to this day. And one of them is my god brother. We did music together. But it's like God kind of set it up to say, I thought I was going to go to the NBA, tore my ACL early. That didn't happen. But I was able to drop 13 albums since that injury. And that's how I got into music, by just trying to fit in with the partners.
Well, it's funny. We always think we know what our story is when God going to laugh at us. You tell me what your life and your story is. I'm going to tell you. Exactly. So that's what happened to you.
Because I was terrible, and I knew I was, but I just wanted to fit in because I didn't want to be left out. They didn't want to play ball no more. So I said, I'm going to rap so I can fit in. And then all of a sudden, my voice has always kind of had like a deeper tone. So it was almost like I had a voice for it, but didn't think I could do it at all. I didn't have that story. Like, I want to be like Chris Cross, or I want to be like whoever else was out in the early 90s. I just listened to music as just music. But once that seed was planted, it became my life to this day. To this day.
And that's dope. I love that. Talk to us a little bit about this thought. You get a call that you're going to be on Sway in the morning.
Okay.
How did that call feel? And what were you thinking, if you can remember at that time, about those moments?
I can. You know what's Sway launched the show in New York. The month prior to that, he has a partner named King Tech. And so King Tech had about, I want to say maybe 20 or 30 rappers come down to a studio in LA with the real Rick Ross. Rick Ross at the time was trying to start a label. So he had all of us in there. It was like I said, 30 rappers just going one by one trying to rap. And they recorded us. And Sway heard my voice and said, man, who is this dude that rap like this with this kind of tone? I just started the show. Would he be willing to do a drop for me? And so for those who don't know a drop, that's you just taking the beat, writing the song, particularly straight to the show. Nothing about me, but just almost like a promo for the show. And I sent them the promo. My Twitter at the time started going off, and I get a call from Sway directly and said, bro, they love you. We need to fly you out. You need to be on the show. What's your availability? The cool part about it is I've been doing music for a while, and now I'm also like in a career. I'm newly married, so I'm kind of trying to focus on the grind, and I'm married. And I remember being in an apartment, opening up the Bible, just reading the word, and I told, no exaggeration, I say, God, I want to do this. I want you to order my steps. I want to do this according to your will. Anything I got to cut off, anything I got to let go, I'm going to let go because I don't want anything to block me or distract me from what you have for me. Sway calls and said, I need you to come to New York. So that call right there was like, okay, God, I know I didn't need to throw in the towel. I need to go get this done. And then my motivation was like, my life is about to change. I'm going out to New York hungry, ready to go. I'm not going to play no games with it. I was ready to go. And so that whole time from when they told me I was going to New York to the time I left New York, my focus was to an all-time high. So that was the thing. And to Ken's point, early, the Wake Up Show was very big. And so it was almost like a nostalgic moment because I remember staying up late, next to the boombox to hear people freestyle like Eminem and Crooked Eye and Razcast and Redman and Method Man. And now I'm about to be in the same room with the person that kind of gave them their start. At one point, B.I.G. was my favorite rapper. So I'm like, I'm about to be in the same room with a cat that interviewed my favorite rapper. I'm not going to play no games with it. I'm a student of the game. And I went in there saying, I got to get off.
Yeah, I dig that, because that inspiration sometimes, we talked about this earlier, kind of backstage, life will do its thing.
Yes.
And sometimes you get in a moment where you find yourself a little bit discouraged.
Yes.
Because you kept your hands to the plow, kept praying, kept believing, that call comes through. So I'm sure that moment had to be feel pretty good at that moment in your career.
It was amazing. It was amazing. I'm on my way to work that day, just listening to beats and trying to get my mind right. But like I said, I was like, my life is about to change. I professed it. I said it. I spoke it. Like, I'm going out there. This is about to be different. I'm not going out there for this to just be a photo moment and a moment in history to say, oh, I met Sway. No, it was going to be one of those moments where I'm like, this is going to be a staple in my career and a pivotal moment to show I went from this level to that level. And that's what happened. No glory on me, all glory on God, because I could have went out there and did terrible.
Right.
It could have been a trash experience. I could have went out there and fumbled over the rap. I could have went out there and they didn't like me at all. But going out there, from that, so many other opportunities came through, and that's all glory to God, because I said no to what I wanted, and I said yes to what He wanted me to do.
I dig it. I dig it.
All right, so Benji was just talking about inspiration. So, what inspires your music? Like, who inspires your music, or who has inspired your music at different times?
Oh yeah, so the first one, his name is Jarrell. This cat named Jarrell, and it's gonna be different than what you think it is. So I told Jarrell one day, who was a cool partner of mine, I said, man, I'm gonna start doing rap, but I'm not gonna cuss no more. I'm gonna just do it for God. I'm gonna be different. And he looked at me and said, man, that ain't never gonna go nowhere. That ain't never gonna get bought. That's corny. I don't know why you're doing it. That's trash. I'm not supporting you no more. We like 14, 15 at the time. And this was a good friend, but he thought he was being honest with me and telling me, hey, there's no future in that. What you're doing, nobody does that. Nobody wants to hear that. Keep that at church. I continued to do it. By the time I was about to move from Los Angeles out to Riverside, I was going to Washington High School. Shout out to the Generals. And this one dude heard me rap. And in the middle of my rap, they start singing Stomp, Kirk Franklin. Now, I wasn't up there playing no games. I'm up there just really going hard, doing what I'm doing. But because it wasn't popular, because it seemed odd, they laughed at me. Oh, people say Stomp. And they laughed me off the bleachers. And so that became my motivation to say, from this moment forward, nobody will ever be able to do that to me again, because I'm about to go so hard for the kingdom of God and the way I do my craft and my music, that it's going to be something that's respected by all. And that's where like some of the aggression came from. And that's where some of the inspiration came from in the way that I put my music together. Trisha can attest to this. If you see me in a regular day in a button up and a tie, I'm the nicest guy there is. I'm high-fiving, I'm talking, I'm joking. But when it comes to the music, it's a totally different animal. If you see me at a show versus when you see me at a 9 to 5 or see me in the grocery store, it's totally different, because my inspiration is, if I don't get on, and this is as far as I go, I'm going to try to knock down and open every door for the next person to leap off me and be successful. And it looks like that's happened. I was the first one, if you want to technically say Christian artist or whatever the case to be, on Sway in the Morning. Now that's a regular occurrence of people. And people will say I was the first one to go through that door and open that door. I don't say that to get a pat on the back, but I just say, thank God that I allowed that inspiration to keep me motivated, to keep doing it and not falter on what I was supposed to do. And it opened doors for other people. So that's my inspiration.
The accomplishments matter, especially when you're on your journey. The accomplishments matter. So I'm sure they feel good to you. And you feel like, I know Patricia said this earlier, you feel accomplished. You're running, doing all of these things. But to get something done and it's effective and it sounded good, it's good, it makes you feel good. So there's definitely no harm in there.
Right.
All right, we got one question in the comments. One of the viewers is asking, what age range are you in, Gilly?
42 and fly. I ain't got to play no games.
Okay.
42.
42.
Yeah, 42.
All right.
Yeah, 42.
All right. So they're also mentioning they used to rock with the gospel gangsters out of Compton.
Okay.
In the comments, and I was going to mention too when you were talking about the reason why you do things as far as your inspiration and being different.
Yes.
I remember it was many years ago, or I think it was mid 2000s. I was listening to one of my my little brother. He had Grape Tree Records, tapes
Okay.
from Grape Tree
Yeah.
Records, and I was like, I wasn't really feeling it too much.
Right.
And I was like, man, it got to be some other options. So I stumbled across the cross movement.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
so when I stumbled across the cross movement, me being a big Wu-Tang fan, so it was their sound was kind of similar. So I
Yes.
was like, okay, I was looking for some other alternatives to,
Yes.
because I had young boys, and some of the music, the content, and the lyrics I couldn't listen to it around my sons because they were
Right.
little. So I was looking for something else, a little bit more inspiring, a little bit more,
Yeah.
clean cut.
Yeah.
So I stumbled across the cross movement, and then I stumbled across Lecrae and Trip Lee, which
Yeah.
are local products to where we are in Dallas, Texas.
Yes. Yes.
So I didn't realize how big, that things were getting until I started, falling down that rabbit hole of different rappers in that specific genre. Then
Yeah.
this question comes up, and I want to ask you this.
Okay.
When you talk to people and they talk about like your content, what you rap about, do
Yes.
you consider yourself a gospel rapper, a Christian rapper, or a rapper or MC who just happens to be Christian?
That's a great question, and I'm glad you asked that, because years ago this was asked to me, and I feel like I fumbled the ball, because that's how I answered it. I said, "Oh, I'm just an MC who love God." Nah, my music is to glorify God in all that I do. Every song isn't gonna have heavy scripture in it, absolutely not, and that's not a negative thing. But I do try to do life rap. I have an entire album which is dedicated to those who are going after their dreams, called Employee of the Month. And some say that's my best album, but it was all dedicated on not giving up, staying committed, keeping integrity, going after what you want. And so I am a believer. I am a Christian rapper at its finest. This is what I do. I always will do it. Will never falter on it. Will never turn my back on it. Will never deny it. But the music is able to get in any arena, and I'm not going to hesitate to let people know what I'm about, because you can see it and it's evident in my lifestyle. I'm not going, if I do go into a secular arena or a club and perform, you're not going to see me at the bar going crazy. You're not going to see me flirting with everybody in the room, whether my wife is there or not. You're not going to see me compromise in my conversation because of who I'm in front of, because God is still able to get glory, and he's greater. His name is above every name, right? And I'm not going to turn it into that, but any room I go into, I'm going to allow my light to shine, because I know what it's like and know what it looks like when you get denied. Have you ever been in a room of somewhere where you like somebody and you feel like they feeling you, and then when they get in the presence of other people, they kind of shun you like it ain't what it really is, and it's like, you've been talking to me all day, but now you're in front of somebody else and you're trying to act like it's not what it was. It make you feel crazy. I'm not going to do that to God, because I pray to him every day. I talk to him every day. I'm asking for things every day. I'm giving him glory every day. So why would I get in the room with another person and deny my DNA?
I dig that, because that's important with the representation of the stance that you take.
Yeah.
I had the pleasure of seeing you perform live, and this was some years ago, before I even the individual, knew the music, knew any of that.
Yeah.
That the first day I heard him live with his performance, I was like, yo, like, this dude is hard. Like, so that made me follow even after that. How does that typically work for you after you do a show?
Yes.
What type of how do you measure the responses? Do you measure by somebody followed me? how do you measure your performance even after you do a show?
After doing a show, the conversation that happens after a show. Because most times, 9 times out of 10, if I just step in the room, I'm just cool. I don't really say too much. When it comes to the music side, I kind of just observe the room, see what's going on, lock in, figure out what songs I need to do. Like, for example, if I'm in the room and I see Trisha and I see you guys, I'm like, okay, they look more hip hop than Trisha does. So I'm gonna make sure I throw a song in that I feel that she'll rock with. That's kind of like along the lines where everybody can appeal to it, as opposed to I'm about to just knock them over the head with nothing but bars. And then they're like, bro, I can't understand nothing he's saying. And so normally what happens is after a show, people normally talk to me and they want to know, how do I get to your music? Or they'll say something like, I've never heard someone like you, or your tone is crazy, or the energy you bring is different because I perform with a high level of energy as well. Not to where like I'm like preaching, a Sunday sermon, but it's just kind of like I want to make sure that everything is clear when I'm speaking it, enunciated, and that the energy is there. So yeah, that's normally how I gauge it, just based on the reaction I get after the show by people just communicating with me and wanting to get the music.
Facts. I dig that.
All right. Yeah. So the next question I have for you is, what does your creative process look like? Like, how do you go about writing your rhymes, picking your beats, so on and so forth? What does that look like?
So for me, when I first started off, I didn't really know how to write songs. It would just be a long verse, like 24 bars, 32 bars. The hook could be a part of the verse. You don't know when I started and when I finished. You just kind of figure it out and just rock with it. So the people, they getting tired because they just got their hands up. They don't know when the hook coming in. So by the time the first song is over, they ready to go home because I didn't know how to put it together. But then I was in the group for about 6 to 7 years. And that kind of honed my craft because people would always say, your voice stands out or your tone stands out. When you come on the track, I know you're on the track. So I said, okay, I got to use this to my advantage. And so then I started kind of studying that in most cases, the hook is what's going to carry the song, of course. So what I normally do now is the first thing and the only thing that I really work on is the hook, saying it with different energy, trying to say it with different melodies. Late in my career now, I'm trying to sing a little more, I ain't singing crazy, but a little melody so that people can appeal and grab onto it more. And then sometimes I'll write maybe half the verse, freestyle the rest, or I'll freestyle the entire song, or the whole song will be written and I'll go in there and kind of like freestyle the hook just based on how I feel. But it all just depends on the beat when I get it. So if a producer sends me a beat, I'll just ride to work with it. Like I said, I go in at midnight. So I'm riding to the beat on repeat. I got my AirPod in. Trisha can probably attest to it. I have my AirPod in and I'm mumbling while I'm walking through the call center, just trying to figure it out. So when I get to the studio, I can just knock it out and it's like one take, Jake.
That's dope because that putting the time into the craft is, of course, where you perfect everything at, just putting that time in. I want to, this is interesting because this happens to me and I want to know, does God wake you up in the middle of the night rapping? How does it work? Because I get a song and I wake up in the morning and lyrics or verses and a note in my head. Like, how does that work for you? I know you've had those moments where you woke up and like God is talking, right? Yeah.
I wake up, wifey tell me all the time, I'll be walking around the house just mumbling stuff. I'll be mumbling all day because that's the melody I kind of woke up with or hits me with a thought or inspiration. So yeah, that does happen often. When I was really like active in creating songs like every day, oh yeah, for sure. I will, wake up ready to go. But now with my schedule now, I just kind of go off inspiration and things will just kind of hit me different. It may be something I see on TV and God will just quicken something in my mind. I'm like, okay, I got to write that down or create something off that. Like I did an album called, which one is it? The last album Gil made. My wife and I were fostering at one point, and the kids would get up every day and they wanted to watch Gracie's Corner. And so watching Gracie's Corner, my little man BG, he would love the ABC song. So I said, I'm gonna write a whole song just using the ABC. So the whole song is me going A through Z, not using any other word other than that letter to describe. So A was all A, B, so forth and so on. And then another song, he was learning colors. I wrote a whole song like in story format using colors. And so, yeah, so God just kind of hits me with different inspiration now. But in the beginning, yeah, I will wake up with different content and ideas. Mm-hmm.
Hey, I be waking up with random songs in my head. I'm not even sure why. Every day is a different song in my head.
Right.
Like I don't know. I don't make music. I ain't putting together no bars. I ain't no artist.
You might
every day.
You might be. You might be.
You know what? But I do have, like, my ear loves some like live, like guitar, but music is in my family, so that's another thing too. So I mean, maybe
so
maybe that is what's up.
It happens because your ear, what you hear, what you're accustomed to hearing can literally be something that you could fall in love with.
Yeah, that's true.
It brings this question, Gil, because you've been in this for a while. You've been creating from since 14 or younger.
Yes.
What album would you say was like, yo, I'm super proud that I was able to drop this album? Was the first album? Was it the last album? Middle? What album would you say was like, yo, like I really love this album?
What's your baby?
What's the baby? The baby is I don't even know why you asked me this, Benji. I'm gonna say, and then I got to think of all the titles.
Right, because I know for a fact when you're in that creative space, like there's so much music that you have, and you're putting it out there, and some of it might be more successful than the other. But even in that space, because it's your baby, like you're like, I just love this one. And that's kind of the mindset I would think.
Okay, I got you. So I think my best, I'm not going to say my best one. Maybe my favorite one would be Insert Title Here.
Okay.
Insert Title Here dropped in 2017. The reason that's the baby is, like I was telling you guys off air before we got started, I had a stroke in 2017. And I had two, actually. And when I had those strokes, we were in the hospital, and they told me that there was a like 85-90% blockage on one side of my brain, and they were going to have to go in and put a stent in order to open it. And there was a big chance that I would pass because they didn't know how much blood would come out when they put the stent in. And my wife and I were kind of just thinking about it, talking about it, and she said, "Hey, let's just go. Let's go down to LA and let's just hear him." And when we went down there, they were trying to, quote unquote, get me comfortable because they thought I was going to pass. And, I wasn't talking at the time. I was paralyzed on one side of my body. You have a stroke, your one side of your mouth is drooped. I was slurred in my speech. And it was kind of like, yeah, you probably won't rap anymore, because it'll be a delay in your communication and things like that. And so, wifey prayed. We came home 6 days later. No surgery was needed. Changed my diet, changed my health. And the stroke happened on March 30th and April 1st. And the album I dropped, Insert Title Here, dropped in October. It's in the same year that I had two strokes. So they said I wouldn't be able to rap anymore. They thought I would be dead. They thought I wouldn't be here. And I think the pressure to make that project, because I wanted to get back to work, and this is honest, being honest with you guys, God delivered me at that point, but I thought maybe I was going to die. So I turned into Tupac after that and just kept dropping music. But Insert Title Here was important to me because it showed, to me, it was like, okay, for everybody who thought it wasn't going to happen, there were nurses in the hospital that said I wasn't going to make it, that I was going to die, all those different things. But keeping the faith, being encouraged by my wife every day, she would put me on the spot. All right, rap a verse. And I would just, get it together and get my breathing back right. Not allow anxiety to take me out. And so I would say that would be my favorite. That would be the baby, because that was the one where everything kind of changed for me again. Going This Way was the first pivotal point. coming home after having 2 strokes with no lasting impact, able to talk, able to drive, able to rap, able to do everything. And that album was my first plaque album. I think that album did 750,000 streams, I believe. So I got a gold streaming plaque for that particular project. And so that was a blessing in itself.
Hey, man, that's dope because I think if I remember correctly, you said after a performance,
yes,
that stroke took place, correct?
The next day, on the way to work, the next day. Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah. That's crazy. So you take that moment and you flip it and you just, and then no procedure, no surgery,
no,
and nothing but wifey doing what she's supposed to do, you know, holding it down, lifting you up, and prayer.
Shout out to wifey. Shout out to
facts.
Shout out to the wifey, Tia Noel. She do music too. She got an album on her way. Shameless.
Hey.
Now, because I'm proud to have both of y'all at my next event. So I'm telling you.
All right. Well, actually, shout out to her because she's in the comments and she said she's your ghostwriter. So she writes all of your raps. So
what did you just say? She blocked today. Don't even trip, wifey. I'm reporting him. If he blocked you, I'm reporting him.
Yeah, just go ahead and block that. Just go ahead and block and keep moving. All right, next question.
Wow.
But, you know, with your story and the 2 strokes and everything that happened to you, man, and to be able to recover from that and be able to grow from that, you know, I think when you look at most great rappers, they have that moment of clarity, as they say, where something occurs and then you have this second part of your life that's, you know what I'm saying, like, okay, I got a second chance at this thing. I'm gonna do these things differently. So when with that, you know, running through my brain and me hearing that, I also wanted to ask you, I know transition and growth happens, right, with your music. And that's one big thing in music that I think in hip hop, a lot of time it's difficult for most hip hop fans because when a rapper comes in, they hate to see growth because they want your album to be like the last one. But they don't understand that the artist has to grow. The artist has to change and evolve and you know, transform. But if you could go back and change anything from your first album, and you think about that now, what would you change or what would you do different than what you do now versus what you did on your first album?
That's the dope question, Big Ken. I think for me, and I think about this often, is I think I put too much emphasis on being a dope MC in my music. I put way too much emphasis on being better than someone else, being doper and killing them off with a bar. I think that's something that I would change. I can use it to my advantage now because there's so much that I can rap about now, even at an older age, because I'm not gonna say wasting time, but I spent so much time trying to be the greatest and chasing this invisible bully about being the GOAT. I think that's something I would do different because I do have songs that I think make major impact. And it's nothing about me. Nothing talks about me. When I do visuals, when I go on radio shows and things like that, I take the time to still try to display how good I am as an artist or rapper, that I should say. And so that would be the one thing I would change. I would be more balanced in my approach and the music that I release so that it can make an impact and reach more people. That would be the biggest change I would make.
I like that because that's maturity. Like we all have a starting place. The thing I always admire about people who with the longevity is that they started and they didn't quit. From their first album to the last album that they have, they didn't quit. They kept creating content and you kept seeing the maturity from first to second to third to fourth. And that's what honestly what I admire. Your style is totally different. I don't know anybody that sounds like you off the top of my head. I can find somebody, oh, he sounds like so-and-so. Today, we got artists that all kind of sound alike, so to speak. So I really can appreciate that. So
And what I like it.
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say it, and that's the one thing that always stood out was my tone and my voice. And And the thing and this is another thing going back to one of the questions you asked me earlier, Benji. I know that people rock with the music because without knowing me, people mimic my voice.
Right.
They mimic me. You know, it might be a joke or whatever, but it's like my tone and how I rap stands out so much that that's the one thing they gravitate to. Some of the ad-libs I throw out, Gilly, anything like that. People do that. People do that, and when I'm at work, it's people that I don't even know that I would know even listen to my music, and that's what they yell out as I walk by. So it's like, oh, okay, cool. They at least rocking with the music. So yeah.
Yeah, I can dig that. I love that. I love that. Got his own catchphrase. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
All right, so I can't lie, man. When people introduce me to music, some music I don't gravitate to, right? It just doesn't speak to me.
Okay.
So again, when I was going through your catalog, I gotta tell the truth and let you know, man, that some of your music has made it into my regular rotation of stuff that I listen to, man.
Yeah.
Hey.
So like I said, I'm a big hip hop fan. You know, I'm an 80s baby. Actually, literally 1980 was when I was born.
Okay.
So like my first tape was a Loud record sampler. That was my first music that I actually owned of my own. One of my cousins is DJ Premier. So like I'm deeply engrossed in it. So when I listen to your music, I'm impressed at the styles that you can change into, right? You don't just have the same way you rap on every single song. Like you switch it up, and that shows the true depth of an MC to be able to, you know what I'm saying, rap on different types of beats and different type of cadences and, you know, show their versatility. So I was very impressed by that, man, for real. So
Thank
yeah,
you.
man. Yeah, very, very dope. But you know, we got to get into these records. Because that's what I want to get into. So before I get into these records, Trish, Michelle, Benji, y'all got any other questions? Because I'm about to take a deep dive into this music.
Oh, let's dive. Okay.
Go ahead, Patricia. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was gonna say let's dive. It sounds like it's gonna be deep, so it's gonna need some. So, but Benji, go ahead.
No, okay. The song I dig because I haven't listened to the entire catalog. I've listened to several albums. The song that I'm telling you that pops for me is God's Favorite. Like, the introduction, the whole intro on the song, the hook, the bars, the way you ride the beat on that song is sick to me. Like you can put that in your car with the subwoofer because everything don't make it to the subwoofer. Right, you get what I'm saying?
Right, yeah.
So, because that track, you can bump that in the ride in the Benz, yes sir.
Yeah, okay. That's cool. Yeah.
So I go. No, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say that was on. I think it was Bar Bully, and so that album, I was trying to go for the head on that album. So that one, every song gonna knock them out the block. So yeah, that was one of them. I did a video late for that one because I was kind of taking a break from music and kind of stepping away, going into other roles and avenues in life. But because people still are interested in the music, I went to the archive and said, what's something that's still relevant today that I can bring to the forefront? And that's why I chose that one. So we're on the same page, Benji. We got the jumper and we rocking with God's Favorite.
Yeah, sure. And the intro and that joke, the devil thought he had me, but
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yes. Okay, so this is what we're gonna do. When Benji injures himself playing basketball, we're gonna call Gil and let him know, my guy, you're very inspirational. You're so inspirational that you inspired Benji to injure himself by thinking he has a jumper still. I mean, you know.
Yeah. Exactly.
This is what you got to understand. My crew, they always, they test me. You get what I'm saying? They didn't think I could still do a backflip. I had to prove them wrong. And Patricia challenged me to a run. She still ain't showed up to race me yet.
Wow.
First of all, I'm fresh off knee surgery, so the fact that you want to run somebody that had knee surgery says a lot about you, you little cheater.
No. We said we was gonna do this like almost.
No. It says a lot about you, you little cheater. Y'all see how he get down? See, yeah. He want to run now. He want to run now.
Anybody can get it.
and I've told him countless times. He talks about playing basketball against me, and even though I've torn my Achilles. Yeah. You want
to compete against the injured?
No, but he still can't beat me. He's too small. He's too small.
That's right. You ain't even got to do much.
He's too small. I'm telling you. I'm almost a foot taller than Benji, so it's nothing he could do. If he misses a shot, he's done for. I'm just gonna take him in the paint, and that's it. Good night.
He's gonna be tumbling, and make sure you get him slow motion, all that again, because you're going down.
I'm going to the hole consistently. The speed is
no. I'm just gonna let you shoot because I know you're gonna miss. So yeah, as soon as you miss, it's a wrap.
Dang. Oh.
See what I got to deal with, Gil?
You do it to yourself. That's the problem. Like you invite this and then you victimize afterwards.
I got doubt
when you were never gonna win to begin with.
All right.
And now you got Gil over here,
and trying to inspire.
Like he likes to uplift and speak positivity and make people feel like they can do things and become things and embed this within themselves. He wasn't talking about you, Benji.
Gil recognized game when he seen it. You know what I'm talking about? He know what's happening. He know greatness when he see it.
He recognized game because you know how to talk a good game, but you don't walk the same way you talk. So yeah, that's the problem there. But speaking of talking a good game, we got to get into these albums and these lyrics and these bars because I had to make some notes, man, because I sat there and I went through the catalog and it's hard for me to pick certain songs that are my favorites because no lie, you got a lot of music, dude. You got a lot of freaking music. Yeah. So I had to sit and listen to it. So I want to start here. So the newest song that's on the list when you go through is Best Friend.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Is that your newest release?
It is. It's new single just dropped on Valentine's Day.
Valentine's Day. Okay. Yeah. So if you all have not heard it, you got to hear it, and you'll hear elements of, again, because I'm an ear person. I listen to the beats. I listen to the small details. Yeah. It's a sample in there that uses the same sample from Hiding Here. It's a flip of that beat. Mm-hmm. So it's a very, very dope song. Very, very dope concept. So that was the first song that popped up when I pulled up Apple Music on the list. So I checked it out. So that stood out to me.
Yeah.
So what inspired that song and all things on Valentine's Day?
Yeah. So the thing behind that song is I went back in the studio after saying I wasn't gonna do another project, and I got that bug, and so I went in, and so I was trying to, like I said, now get out of the bar heavy music and make something that's more like worldwide that everybody can appeal to. Everybody like a best friend. I wrote it from the perspective of a guy who has a girl best friend, which is like his lady, which is a great relationship. If your girl is your best friend, because she gonna keep it honest with you, y'all gonna rock together, you're gonna have inside jokes, everything gonna be good, right? And so when I got the beat, I said, okay, Nelly, that's a cold little sample. That was a big beat. And that's like almost 30 years ago. So it's almost like it's kind of a classic now. It's an old school record. So now if I bring it up now with the way TikTok works, where people are remixing old school songs, that would work. I do have a remix with TNOL on it, but we just weren't able to get into the studio. But I did still want to put the song out on Valentine's Day because we was going out in our hard bottoms on Valentine and performing, but I wanted to give everybody something to ride to. And so that was the inspiration behind that song. Celebrating your lady, your best friend. You got it. Dance, have fun. I'm gonna big you up as you get promoted, doing what you need to do. I got your back. And so far, well received, great reception from everybody who's heard that record.
Yeah, I dig that. That's dope, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely a dope album. And then your latest full album, was it the Walking on Water?
Walking on Water, yes, dropped on January 10th.
Okay, so we're walking on water or wow.
Yeah.
I did listen to that a couple of times. So I do have a few favorite tracks on that one. The first one is Comfortable. That's one of my favorites. That gets a lot of spins. No Slipping, those two.
Yes.
But I couldn't decide to, miss the last two that I'm about to mention, which are Ride and Moment. Those are hard.
Okay.
So those four songs for me are what made my list of regular rotation songs.
Okay, that's cool.
From that album.
Cool.
From that album. Now I got
That's
some
one
other
album,
ones.
okay.
Yeah, so I got some other ones from
Right.
other albums, but from that album, because I don't know if you all know, a lot of you all may have Apple Music, but Apple Music, they put their stuff in sequential order. Like, the latest album is always usually first, and then they go from there. So I just went down the list and started listening to the music from that standpoint. So that's why this album stuck out to me. But also it's his latest work, so we always want to talk about the newest stuff, because that's what's that's what you want to publicize, and then people go down that rabbit hole and listen to the rest of the catalog as well.
Yeah.
Gil, what inspired the Walking on Water album? What was the motivational moment? Because this is your last album. No, I mean, I don't last album, because that phrasing is wrong. But what was the inspiration behind the Walking on Water album?
The inspiration behind this particular project was, at the age that I am now, still being able to jump out there and make relevant content as God told me to make it. And so those who know the story, some know it, some may not. So I'll give you a quick little breakdown of when the disciples were on water, right? And he told Peter to come out, or the disciples saw Jesus appeared on water, and the first thing they said is, it's a ghost. And that kind of inspired the entire project, because it told me in life, sometimes we get fearful and think things aren't what they really are, and it causes us not to step out there in faith. We'll look at things that happen in our life, obstacles, as Benji mentioned earlier, different things that come in to set us back. And instead of seeing it as seeing God in it, seeing Christ in it, what we do is we see it as the ultimate thing that's set up to kill us. Oh, it's a ghost. They got fearful, but one person was willing to say, if it's you, have me to walk out to you right now. And so that's me. God, if this is you and you want me to keep doing this, I need you to push me and tell me to step out, and I'm going to be willing to step out and continue to do this at a level that you want me to do it at. And just taking a quick sidebar, I dropped this particular project, no visuals for it. Things are going well. 3 days ago, I get a call or email that one of my songs was placed on a rookie.
I was just going to say something about that. Yep.
No, I've never had a placement on music. I've been wanting to do it. That's a goal that I have in mind, but I can ultimately say I believe it's because instead of me just getting on my soapbox and saying like, man, ain't nobody rocking with the music, everybody sound the same, I'm never going to be where I need to be, still stepping out, doing it because God told me to do it, and allowing the music to bless the people. Let me turn around and get you with a blessing that you didn't even know was coming your way.
Right.
Yeah. That's it's crazy you mentioned that, because I was going to wait till we went through the albums and went to the deep dive to go ahead and ask about me seeing the post that your song placed on the rookie, which is amazing. So, kudos and big congratulations for that, because that's monumental in your career.
Man, amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's definitely dope. I mean, and that's big, because my thing is your music needs to be heard, man. You are an artist that, and an MC that it really has the full package per se. In the world of copycats and people just kind of riding the wave, your style is a style of its own. Your voice is what I'm saying, your own voice. So to have the messaging that you have, and to have people supporting it and getting a placement like that, is definitely one of those signs from God that you're moving in the right direction.
In the right direction, yeah. Amen. Yep.
That's what's up. So
how long typically does it take you to get a full album together? Like in that space, 6 months, is it 3 months? How long, when the creative juices start flowing? I know the energy is there.
Yes. So I did WoW in 3 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah.
For real. Like this fool, wow. But
you see that? Wow.
But I mean, 3 weeks is crazy. Is there anything? Is that your shortest, most like just the fastest one?
I would say about the fastest one because what I would do is I would write the songs on the way to work, lunch break, hit my engineer, and we would knock out 3 songs a session. And it doesn't take me long to record. And so if we're doing 3 songs a session, and I'm going in twice a week, we done it quick. Yeah.
Tupac.
Now I'm always ask you what you writing when I see you. Like, what you writing? What's the song? What's the song?
I know what you talking about. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, I was just motivated to get this one done because I'm moving up and doing things in ministry more, preaching more. My time is more limited. Getting into real estate, things like that. And so I just wanted to get another project out there to where when I do have downtime, I could do more videos and visuals and things like that. But to Big Ken's point, I have so much music that I work faster than people listen to it. And that's another thing I wish I wouldn't have done. Instead of allowing a project to live, I was always, when somebody would see me in Walmart or something and say, when the next album coming? I would feel like, I would listen to them and feel like I had to do something new.
Yeah,
instead of saying that pressure. I put that pressure on myself, like, I got to keep working. When I could have kept working, didn't mean I had to put it out right then and there. But because I had those that wanted more music and they were fans and just wanted to build a catalog of the music, I would keep putting stuff out. So when people get introduced to me, they don't know what's new, what's old, what I'm working on, what's the single, because my rollout just became kind of like impulsive. Get the album done. I think it's dope. I think it's ready. Benji would hit me sometime on the inbox, repost a song. I'm like, man, that's old. Why are you reposting that? I got to go put a new album out. And it's like, nah, I should just let that live.
So, yeah, you really was in your own head from the people that got in your own head too. Yeah. Then after that, you just started feeling like,
I got to keep going.
Yeah, relevancy is just right now, new.
Yeah. The cool part about that, though, because I know your new phase that you're in, the beauty of it is that you have this space because you created all of this content. It's like a preacher who's been writing messages for 10, 15, 20 years, and he never any of them. But because he studied it, he put the time in, you can actually go back and pull from that, and you can pull what you've already done before. Because as you operate in this new space that you're in, it's going to be time consuming. And sometimes you do need, hey, what, let me give you this. Hey, man, I was listening to this, and this the 6th album. You don't even have to say it that way. Just be like, hey, thinking about it, and here's this content. But I did this some years ago. Check this out. You get what I'm saying?
Real talk.
That can happen as well because the new space is going to take up a lot of your time for sure.
Yeah, real talk. Yeah, you're right.
All right. So I'm going to continue a little deep dive.
Okay.
So as I mentioned earlier, I'm a huge fan of the Wu-Tang, right? With that being some of the first music that I was exposed to, they always have a special place in Big Ken's heart. Okay. When I listened to Hunting Season off of the Pat White LP.
You really went, you really was digging.
See. So of course, when I'm listening to it, my ears perk up immediately because I hear something that the RZA used on a song that they have called Tears. Yeah. I hear the elements of that in that song. So I'm like, okay. So this is this is going in the direction I like, man. And I think that was the second album that I listened to in the list, and I just kind of start jumping around after a while, but that was one of the second ones I listened to, and I was like, okay, so it's going somewhere for me personally, you know what I'm saying, and with my music ear and what I like to hear. And then I went to Find Yourself. So listen, y'all. Find Yourself. It's off of the last album Gil made. That's the name of the album. Yeah. It's a dope concept because to me, now correct me if I'm wrong, it's a take on the modern day version of Prodigal Son.
You are correct. Yes. And I think that's my favorite song on the project. I think that's my favorite song. So to give you a little background before that, before doing the last album Gil made, I had an idea to do an album called Heroes. And so I was going to take maybe 10 characters, people we love from the Bible, and kind of just depict their life in a creative song and make it relatable to every day. And so Find Yourself was the first song that I did, and it kind of stuck out. But I just kind of decided to kind of put that to the side. So I'm not saying it would never happen, but in the grand scheme of things, when I put this project together for the last album, because I really in my mind thought this is going to be the last time I make an album solo for myself, that I wanted to at least have one song different from the rest that really could speak to the people. And I met a few people that heard the project, they don't go to church. They aren't familiar with the prodigal son. So they actually thought I was talking about myself. But it caused them to say, man, I got to get some things out of my life and get some things right. So, amen. They thought it was me. It wasn't me, but it gave me the opportunity to kind of encourage them and tell them where the story really comes from and help bless their life.
So what you're saying about the visuals as well, when I listened to that song, I could visualize it.
Yes.
Listen to certain songs, if you listen to a lot of music, you start to see the song in your head. So with that one, do you have any visuals in the work for that? Because I know it's an older song, but do you have? Okay.
Find Yourself is one I want to knock out. Another one I want to do is off the most recent project called Keep Running. And then I also have a song. It's called Falling. It's over the Alicia Keys sample.
Yeah.
I want to do a what song is it? You Don't Know My Name. But it's kind of talking about how we fall into temptation all the time, and we are in this constant battle of I want to do right, but wrong is always present, and I keep falling. And so I think it's pretty dope how I created it, and it's a story in itself, and it almost is true to life. I did kind of speak on some of the things that I experienced and went through early in life, early in marriage, and I put that on display, and I think it's something that will be impactful and bless other people and create a conversation piece.
Okay. Yeah.
Go ahead. Sorry.
No, go ahead, Benji. Go ahead.
And that's what I was meaning by earlier. That's the dope part, is that you have this catalog that now, even in the social media era, you can go back and put more feet to the content that you already created.
Yes.
How you were thinking 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 years ago, your creativity is going to be totally different this time around. And you can add to those elements and continue to pump your music and stuff out there for people who haven't or don't know who it is and wasn't listening to him 10 years ago or 5 years ago.
Right.
They know it now.
That's true.
Again, shout out to us being able to get you on the show, because ultimately, and I say this all the time, we have the propensity to pick people that are trending like super, super, super up.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to celebrating you even more, because I know the new spaces that you're going to be going into, and we're falling into this younger generation that needs to come into this new movement.
Yeah.
And you great pieces of content that you can introduce to them. And to me, that creativity, those thoughts, those ideas were just dope to me. So
yeah.
All right. So I want to get into your business a little bit, just a little bit, because we didn't talk about this.
Okay.
When you have a music artist such as yourself of any genre, but you got record labels and things like that. So are you an independent artist? Are you with a record label? What's your status as far as that goes?
So independent artist. Launched my own label, Different Cloth Music Group, when I released a project called Sunday Shoes. When I first came off Sway years ago, as soon as I hit back to LA, Warner Brothers hit me up and wanted me in the office immediately from the first interview. And so I went down there. Everything was working in the direction of being signed. I was ready to move, ready to get it done. And then Rick Ross and Maybach Music came over there, and they were like, sorry, Gil, we had no room for you. And that's just the way the music business works. They love you one day, the next day they get you out the door. And so that kind of put me back at ground zero, trying to figure it out. Had a couple other opportunities. I sat down with Dreamville before, sat down with Sony before, and nothing really ever panned out because they didn't really know what to do with me as an artist, because I was in that space of, is he secular? Is he gospel? What is he really doing? We don't know how to market somebody like this. And so it kind of put me in the space of, okay, although I'm not signed, that doesn't mean that I can't continue to create music. And from the success of Sway in the Morning and being on Power 106 and other different little avenues, I had a following. And so people were looking forward to the music. And that's where I am right now, just independent, just riding out, doing what I need to do. And it's great to be independent because I work at my own pace. Now, to Benji's point, with the being on the Rookie and things like that, it seems like things are going to pick up rather fast again, because now I'm introduced to a whole new audience. These are millions of people who heard 30 seconds of a song. I'll put a clip up, and now that's kind of going viral on different platforms. And now my name is ringing again. So it's like, cool. I don't have to create any new music, but it is going to be introduced to a whole new fan base, and everything kind of streamlines through me because I'm an independent artist. So I had that freedom.
Yeah, and that's dope.
I'm telling you, it's up. Keep going up, bro. Keep going up.
Yeah, and that's dope too, because with the way music is consumed now, somebody could be looking at that show and they could actually Shazam the song,
right,
and have access to it, and being able to do that. For me in general, like wherever I'm at, if I'm at an event, if I'm out in public, if I hear a song and all I gotta do is Shazam it, it pulls it up, it puts it in my Apple Music, and now that creates a bookmark basically for me to go back and listen to that. And then that's how people fall down the rabbit hole of, okay, I listened to this one song, just 30 seconds on this show. Now I'm listening to his album. Now I'm listening to, this album, that album. Now I'm listening to all the albums. Now I'm a fan of him. So, things are just trending upward for you. Like Benji said, we're not saying that we propel people, but we have access to people that we see are doing great things, and we catch them before they take off.
We got some good timing.
Yeah, we got good timing. But I really believe that, just kind of talking about our own journey, it's a journey of consistency, right? I started this show back in 2020, right? And it's taken on many different changes and many different variations, but we still roll, right? And sometimes I do get discouraged. Sometimes I do look at things and like, man, I wish I had more views. I wish I had this. I wish I had that. But at the same time, there's always that one person that I run into to be like, man, I had never looked at your show before. I tuned in Tuesday, and y'all were talking about, episode where we have, children with autism, and their child is autistic, and it spoke to them. Just that one chance moment, and now that person became a fan of the show. So it's things like that you have to remain encouraged with. You know what I'm saying? And keep pushing. So, I totally understand from your work ethic that the music that you put out is a labor of love, and people will definitely appreciate it because it's genuine music, man.
Yeah.
That's a blessing. Thank you. For real. I mean that. Yeah.
Nah, no problem. But before we wrap up, man, I want to check and make sure that Trisha, Michelle, Benji, you have any other questions?
Well, I got one. It's kind of, I already know, but Gil, what's next for you? Where is your creative energy taking you in terms of whether it be life, whether it be music, whether it be ministry? What is your space at right now? What's going on with Gil right now?
So the life right now for Gil, the ministry is first and foremost top of the list. That's where my focus is. That's where my motivation is right now. With this placement in the music kind of taking off in the way that it is. I think the blessing in it is I can do it all from the house. I'm not going out anywhere. I'm just sending emails. I had a couple of meetings the other day, and it's just like this. We on Zoom. They tell me what they need. I'm going through the catalog and sending music over. They go shop it, and then I just wait. And I know God is going to bless that and propel that. But in the meantime, you know, me and the wife, we can lock in, do ministry like we've never done it before. And that's just where I am. I really believe, you know, 2025 for the remainder of this year. I know things are different. Finances are changing and things like that. But I feel like because of the momentum, because of the faithfulness, and because I've put God first, that some doors are going to swing open for me very soon, very soon.
Yeah. I dig that. Yeah.
How do you manage it all? And because I mean, you like you said, your husband, you know, you even mentioned y'all had some adopted kids for a moment. You got your job and the albums, and you in there on break and lunches, writing bars, and then in the studio for 3 tracks and 2 times a week. How in the world do you not go crazy? Like, because I see you are the most balanced, chill, like person I've ever seen. Like, it really light up the room still. So how?
Thank you. I love being alive. I could have died 7 years ago, and when God pulled me out and allow me to go home and see life, it changed my perspective. I put some things down that were stressing me out, and I picked up only things that were going to push me toward my purpose and what I'm supposed to do here. And so that's what keeps me going. I'm motivated. Yes, we all get tired. I'm not going to act like I'm Incredible Hulk all the time. I do need those pockets of time where I can shut down and reset. But because I know I'm doing and getting a chance to do the things that I love, it motivates me to do it. At my 9 to 5, yeah, people can complain all day, but I feel like I was born and I was sent here to inspire, to encourage, to pray and uplift. So I get to do that at my 9 to 5. So it's not a problem for me. And in between time, I'm getting the right music. I get to do things that motivate me. I get to do ministry with my wife. I'll tell anybody, if you're married or not married, it is important and it is key that when you are with someone, that you are of like mind, that you are locked in, that you have the same goals in mind. You know, you support them, they support you, and you guys win together. That's the greatest thing you can do, and it makes going after what you want to do even easier when you have that open window to push and do the things you're supposed to do. So that keeps me motivated to do what I do.
Okay. I mean, it shows because you show up like you said, in your 9 to 5, you really do, like, you uplift and guide everybody. And like, I mean, I would say you the favorite around there. Like you, and that's everywhere. Like you really are the person you are and how you're speaking. Like, and he ain't lying to none of y'all. Like, this is who he is for real.
No, that's cool.
I love to live needs to be on a t-shirt or something. Post it, put it on something. Make it cover something.
You always trying to put something on the shirt. We're gonna put you on the shirt.
Oh,
the milk carton.
Oh, allegedly. Gotta
find him. He's so small. He's lost.
Wow.
It's okay.
They don't let you live. They don't let you live.
I love them though. You get what I'm saying? You know, Patricia's like, you know, the mean little sister.
Oh,
I'm really a sweetheart.
Not to me though.
Okay, no, that's a lie. Because now I got Gil on here.
She do put up on my.
Okay, let me not lie. Because on the daily, you know that I'm.
Don't play no games. Crash out, Junior. Crash out.
Crash out, Junior.
I'm not a crash out.
I
just be like, look, he know. I'd be like, yo, we gotta figure this out because you already know I don't play no games.
Right.
Like,
real talk.
We ain't playing no games.
She do pull up on my shop though. So she pull up for all the beating I take. She do pull up on my shop and support.
Yeah. Hey, you know, you locally, you lost some competition nearby. I have to tell you.
Oh, come holler at your boy.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna have to let you know. You know, you the in the area. It's I think it's only a couple now.
Yeah. Holler at your boy. You know.
What's up?
Yeah, holler at your boy.
All right. So Gil, I mean, Benji kind of asked what I was gonna ask, what I usually ask at the end of the show.
Yeah.
But you know, projects, albums, or movies. If they even Tubi movies, you ain't got none of that in the works.
Yeah, that's the plan. That's the plan.
Hey, you know what? People laugh about Tubi. Tubi has some great entertainment, some great movies.
Just don't use any of Benji's man units on anybody. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. No, go to look. Just make sure your stuff is legit.
Make sure it's legit. Yeah.
But look at the visuals and stuff that you create, and look. So factually, we could look at your artwork and the things that you create and the work that you put in. You gonna bring that to what you would put on Tubi? We here for it.
We get to okay. That's the plan. That's the plan. Yeah, Big Ken, you did a deep dive. I did like a little mini movie or a little setup. It's called In the Bag. It's about 15 minutes. It's on YouTube. In the Bag. That was like my first introduction, but life happens. People kind of like moved in different areas, but that was like going to be the first thing I was going to launch. It was going to be a full series. So I may try to relaunch that, new look, new feel, and see what it does.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah, that's dope. See, we gave y'all a lot of information on Gil, man. We asked some good questions, and we really want you all to support and go follow him. So before we wrap everything up, Gil, tell them where to follow you at, man, and leave them with some words of encouragement.
Absolutely. You can follow me at GilGatsby. That's on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. You get all the videos. GilGatsby. That's all streaming platforms. All the albums are available on YouTube if you don't use any of them. That's where you can get all the music and see all the visuals. The encouragement that I can leave everybody with on the line is going to tap in, see this now, see this later. You are enough. You are more than enough. You will be successful. Every day you rise is a new day in order for you to go after your purpose and the things that God has set you to do. Be the best version of who God called you to be. Don't be anyone else. Don't look to the left nor to the right. Focus in on your dreams, your ambitions, your goals. Only share the dream with those that will help you cultivate it and not those that will break you down and beat you down for the things you want to do. If all they have to say to you is negative when you share what it is that you've been called to do, then you may have to reassess the circle that you're in because you have been called to do something great. Love your family because you never know when they're going to be gone. Let things go. Let small offenses go. If it's something that can be corrected, take the time to correct it. If you can apologize now and get that off your plate so you can live in freedom and live the life you're supposed to live.
I dig it. Lift your
hands over here.
Yeah, that's definitely a lift your hands moment. Definitely a lift your hands moment. All right. Well, we appreciate you, man, for coming through. We appreciate all of the knowledge that you have imparted upon us, man. And, we want the people to go out and support this man, support his movement, and tap in early because he's growing and the brand is growing. And it's getting bigger. So you don't want to be one of those people that be like, man, you know what? I heard about him years ago and I missed out. Nah, man, jump on today. Jump on that bandwagon today. Listen to the music. You know what I'm saying? Become a fan. So we appreciate you, man.
Yeah.
For sure. So
I'm gonna have to spin the block. I'm gonna have to come through again sometime. It's fun right here. I like this. I like this space.
Well, we like to ask our friends for favors every now and again. So, me and Benji had been talking about, the intro for our new season. We might need to get with you to have you put some bars to this beat I made, man.
Not a problem. Let's do
it. Cooking.
Yeah.
That's
yeah, we might need to do it. We'll have that conversation.
I like that.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that.
All right. So Trisha Michelle, talk to the people before we get up out of here. You know how we do.
I mean, after y'all heard Gil say what he had to say, if y'all not inspired in any type of way, even just to be yourself, like he stuck to him even when people try to make fun of or whatever, like you stay true to who you are. And if anything has spoken more than anything out of this whole episode, God. Like I've been, even back to my friends or even, even when we talk outside the podcast, and it's always talking about, asking God and for him to guide you or to help, make your vision clear or to remove people or to just help you have the strength that you need. I mean, life is life. And as everybody likes to say, But at the end of the day, God is going to help you through all of those things.
Yes.
So for sure, like in any type of way that you can bring God back into your life, the little pieces, it's a gateway. So just do whatever it is that you can to bring God back into your life, even if it's just talking to him every day. That's your piece of God. That's where it starts at. So that's what I'll say to all of y'all. And if you, and like Gil said, if you start talking about God and some friends is acting a little bit different and saying, "Lord, get them out of there," that's the devil. Anywho, y'all can find me on everywhere, social media, Trisha Michelle _ TM YT. Who knows who I am anymore? Y'all can find me at the Fiyah Session for sure. Every Tuesday. So follow us and you find me. That's it. That's all I got to say.
All right. We appreciate you, Trisha Michelle, as usual. Benji Banks, the man, the brand. Talk to the people.
Man, first shout out to Gil for pulling up on us, man. Glad we was able to get this interview. And again, y'all go support. We'll constantly be sharing his content, sharing his stuff, supporting and stuff like that. But y'all know where to find me at. First of all, you can find me at my shop. You know what I'm saying? Come get your wig, your hair, whatever. You know what I'm talking about? We got it. Come get your hair done, Co Beauty Supply. You can find me on social media, Benji Banks. You can find me on Reinvented TV. You can find me on Instagram, BRB4701. If you're looking for me, you can find me. You know, shoot a DM, ask a question. We're like shotgun shells, man. I got a whole bunch of stuff going on, but I can definitely put space into the right people as well. So continue to follow, continue to support the Fiyah Session, and you know, we here, man, and we ain't going nowhere. We still growing, and we still gonna make it happen. So y'all continue to look out. And furthermore, don't forget, man, y'all go to church this Friday. You know what I'm saying? Go attend a Good Friday service and go hear some good preaching somewhere. It might do you some good. You know what I mean?
All right. Well, you know, to wrap all this up, everybody said everything, but I'll tell you one thing: be yourself. If people don't like it, if you be yourself, pray for them. Y'all thought I was gonna go somewhere else with that, but now I'm gonna say pray for him. I'm gonna say pray for him.
I said get rid of them and pray.
Now the old Ken was with the Bernie Mac from back in the day, was up against the wall with handcuffs on. But we ain't doing that no more. We're gonna pray for him now. We ain't gonna do that. We're gonna pray for him now.
Give it to God. We're gonna give it to God.
Yep, give it to God. But again, we appreciate y'all for always supporting us and showing us love. Y'all already know y'all can find me at Big Ken on Fiyah on all social media platforms. On Facebook, it's just Big Ken. Y'all can catch the Fiyah Session on all social media platforms. Just type in FIYAH session and we'll pop right up. Make sure you go to YouTube, like and subscribe to the channel, and make sure you hit that little notification bell. So every time we go live, every time we post any content, you'll be notified and you won't miss out on the thing. Again, we appreciate Gil for coming through, for showing us some love, man. And we actually got this knocked out. We have been talking about this interview for a while, so it's a blessing that it was able to come to fruition. We appreciate you, man. We'll be continue to support you and show love. And y'all already know how we do it, man. It's the Fiyah Session. Peace.
Thank you for joining us today. Please follow us on all social media platforms. Just search Fiyah Session.